Hi, welcome to another IONTOF tutorial on SurfaceLab 7.1. My name is Matthias. Today, I would like to briefly introduce you to the global peak list feature. Global peak lists are an important prerequisite for the multivariate statistical analysis features recently implemented in SurfaceLab 7. However, I'm sure that they will also have quite handy applications in your daily data analysis work. The global peak list feature allows you to fill one collective peak list by using different spectra. It is valid for all loaded spectra in the data list with the same polarity. The G button in the SurfaceLab spectra software toggles between the standard peak list display associated with the active spectrum and the global peak list display. Alternatively, you can use the hotkey G on your keyboard if the mouse focus is on the spectra view. Here I show you a screenshot for a very simple example of two different data views from two different layers of the same sample. In order to create a global peak list for those two data views, one can activate the global peak list with the G button and add peaks to it. If one now changes the active data view while the global list is activated, the mass intervals will be kept in the list. One can therefore use different data views to easily generate a common global peak list. I created a little screenshot video in order to show you how this is done in our software. Here we see two different data sets from two different glass samples. I activate the global peak list with the G button in order to generate a mass interval list from both measurements by adding peaks to the global peak list using the finder as you're used to. Switching the active measurement, the global peak list stays active. Once you've filled the global peak list, you can toggle between the individual mass interval lists and the global peak lists. Please note that mass intervals in the global peak list will not be represented in the profiles or images. This is achieved by applying the global peak lists to the individual standard peak lists of the samples by using the peak list context menu. Again, I recorded a little screen video to demonstrate you how this is done. The mass interval list of this sample is empty. If I now activate the global peak list and right-click it, I can either replace or add the global peak list to the selected or all spectra, and you will see that they will now show up in the individual mass lists of those samples and also will now show up in the profiles or images. Just one last point. Please note that the global peak list will disappear without any warning when you close the Spectra program. Therefore, make sure that you either save it as a mass interval list or add it to the data views and save it in the etax files if you want to continue to work with these data lists at a later point in time. I hope this tutorial helps you in your daily work. Please make sure to go through our other tutorials on SurfaceLab 7. I also highly encourage you to check out our frequently updated help file installed with the software. Visit our website at iontof.com for other frequent updates. My name is Matthias from the IONTOF sales department. I hope you enjoyed this little video.